Mike Radich here, and I'm now joined on the phone by former MFC Light Heavyweight champion, Emanuel Newton. Emanuel, how are you?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm good. Emanuel, take me back to the beginning. How did you get started in mixed martial arts?
I pretty much do wrestling. I was pretty good friends with Tito, and I started training out of HB Ultimate, back in the day, when it was the powerhouse gym and one of the powerhouse gyms in MMA. And, so then I met Tito, and then I met my first manager, trainer, Paul Herrera. And, I was in there training with Tito, and he came up to me and he said, how would you like to fight, and make some money? And I was like, yeah, that'd be cool. And he was like, okay, well, your first fight is in 2 weeks. So I was like, all right. So, I had my first fight and won it, and, that's pretty much it. And I was just hooked.
How did you get your nickname, the Hardcore Kid?
That's to do with the music that kind of music that I listen to. It's kind of music and singing, and just lifestyle. So I just kind of stuck with me. So yeah.
Do you ever see a day where that you'll kind of outgrow that nickname? Because you mentioned Tito Ortiz, he wants to change his nickname from the Huntington Beach Bad Boy. Josh Barnett doesn't want to be the babyface assassin. Do you think you'll kind of outgrow that nickname eventually?
No, I don't think so, because like I say, the way the music is, and the way the scene is, we're it's called Hardcore Kids because you usually start off in the music scene and getting into the music scene when you're a kid, and then we're the guys 40, 50 years old that are still listening to the music, still going to the hardcore shows and things like that. So it's like we're all hardcore kids. We started out like that. So I don't think I'll ever outgrow it, but who knows? You never know.
Your last fight was at Superior Cage Combat 3. You fought James McSweeney. You submitted him. How'd you feel about your performance in the fight?
I think it took me a minute to get started. He hit me with two pretty good leg kicks, and we pushed up against the cage, and then it took me a minute for my cylinder to start firing, and then but right when he shot in on me, and then we scrambled, and then he went to the knee bar and to the toe hold, and and then right when I got in that position, I started throwing some punches to his ribs, to get out of that knee bar position. And then I think then after I got a couple of punches, and then I turned on, and then then finished him with the rear naked. But it took me a minute. I was so sorry that fight. I don't know why. It just took me a minute to get going. But first round, submission. You can't beat that.
You're on a 5-fight win streak right now. Do you feel that you're in your prime of your career right now?
For the age that I'm at, yes. I think that I can be better. I think that I can, there's more things that I want to work on. My stand-up style. I want to, work on it more and get it going more for me. Just mentally, I feel that I need to do a couple more things to get myself going. But I'm at an amazing gym right now, and I'm with a bunch of guys that are in their prime, like Mark, like Christoph, like Ellenberger, just all these guys are just amazing training partners, and I'm right there. For me, there's still a couple of things that I want to add into my game and make sure that I start doing before I say I'm in my prime. But age-wise, I am in my prime right now.
When did you start training with Mark Munoz and those guys at Team Rain?
About a year ago. It's been about a little bit over a year now. So it's been there, man, and just all our guys are winning. We haven't had a pro loss here in a good while. So it's an amazing camp, with amazing guys. There's no egos in there, and we all work to make each other better.
Were you at King's MMA recently?
Yeah, for a minute. In the beginning when we started out, we kind of were together with them. But then it got a little bit hard with because King's is in Huntington, and then Rain is in Lake Forest, and then we were trying to split the days up. So it got a little bit difficult. We're trying to do both gyms, and sometimes some guys would show up at one gym and then say, I thought we were at this gym. So that was a little confusing too. So we're still with Kings, still come and train with us, Matt Hofffield still comes in and works, and Mark Sophie was in the box corner for his last fight. But we don't really go down to Kings MMA anymore to do our training down there. We just strictly do it at Rain.
Emanuel, you were supposed to fight Ryan Jimmo back in April for the MFC Light Heavyweight title. Why haven't we seen you fight in the MFC? Why has it been a while since we've seen you there? Do you still have a contract with them? What's going on with that fight? Because you couldn't fight on that night because of an injury, and you're still winning. Why aren't you fighting for them anymore?
Just there's so many other organizations now, and then I'm signed with a new manager with Mickey Dubberly and KO Dynasty, and so he finds me other shows. He has connection with shows like the FCC and Short Fight. They pay good. And they give me good opponents. So the only guy left really in the MFC is Jimmo. So I'm not saying I'll never fight for MFC again. Just as of right now, I'm going wherever my manager finds me. Him and Pavlich don't really talk. So it's not like my other manager that I had before Mickey. He was more connected over in Canada, and he does more fights, like around the world style, kind of management. But Mickey, he keeps me here in the States, which is cool too, instead of going to cold Canada all the time.
You've been pretty active this year. You weren't very active in 2010. You only had one fight. Is that the plan, was to be a lot more active this year, or did you just happen to keep thrown into these fights?
With the training that I've been doing, and with the guys that I've been training with, you want to stay active. There's no reason not to be, and like I said, with the new management I got, he keeps me active. He keeps me going on shows. I just had a little girl about a year ago, and she's my heart, she's my life. So I can't pick and fight, and I'm picking, choose my fights like I used to. I can take some time off and say I'm okay, I don't need to fight. Now I have to fight, to support them. So so definitely more active this year, but it's by choice, because I need to fight. Because like you say, like I'm supposed to be my prime right now. I'm not spring chicken anymore, so I got to get as many fights in as I can and get as many wins as I can right now.
Are you going to try to squeeze another fight in this year, or are you going to wait for 2012?
I would like to. I would like to squeeze one more in this year. Maybe. I'd like to do late December. Right before the new year pops up. Early January. That'd be nice. But we'll see. We'll see. But definitely here to fight. To keep making that money. It's the main thing.
Emanuel, real quick before I let you go, do you have any sponsors you'd like to thank? Anything you want to say to the fans?
Just keep watching for me, keep supporting me. I definitely want to thank my manager, Mickey Dubberly. With KO Dynasty. It's an amazing management company. He's a real personable guy. He really watches out for his fighters. That's what they call all my training partners over at Rain MMA. For being there for me and for pushing me and helping me get better. And just keep watching, because I'm gonna keep pushing, keep fighting, and keep winning. That's the plan.
Emanuel, thank you for taking the time to talk. I really appreciate it.